Hi, I'm Shelly and in this video we tackle all manner of interpersonal concerns between staff, all stemming from a foundation of a lack of trust. There are many layers of interpersonal concerns between staff, and depending on the feedback that you've got from your staff, I will try to point you now in the correct direction that you need in order to tackle the area that your staff have identified the most. Now, if you're having concerns with staff that are very critical of each other, or you have some quite negative staff that just don't seem to understand the impact on other people, then the first thing you do is with your staff watch the trust video with your staff, and then second, you watch the trust staff decision workshop with your staff. Now, the trust video helps staff understand from their own experiences why it's so important to have really strong trust at work. In the staff trust decision video, staff will come up with their own parameters by which they will maintain and build trust in their work setting instead of tearing it down. In this video, they'll be filling in the blanks, and it may end up looking something like this. At our business, if we experience conflict or disrespect from a colleague, we resolve it with them personally, in person, within 24 to 48 hours, even though it's uncomfortable. If we experience conflict or a sense of disrespect from a colleague, we don't discuss it with others, speak negatively about colleagues, or badmouth others, as this decreases trust, decreases efficiency, and negatively impacts on staff wellbeing. So your staff will actually have to fill in the blanks, and they come up with their own parameters about trust within their work setting. If your staff identify that they have trouble with people who have confrontation problems, they overreact to situations, and they cause ripple effects across your staff, then number one, watch the trust video with your staff, and then number two, with your whole staff, and that includes all parts of your organisation, also watch the In the Box session. The In the Box training walks staff through how trust can be broken in one foul swoop when really upset about something, and it walks staff through better methods to walk through the ETC process so that in future they can maintain trust even when they're triggered and upset about something. If staff in your organisation have identified that there is a problem that causes ripple effects across the staff when they speak negatively about each other, then number one, watch the trust video, and then number two, watch the staff conversation video where they themselves will come up with parameters around what conversations are acceptable in the workplace. Here they have three choices. So those three choices are, number one, their conversations must stick to their true, good and helpful about other people, or they can decide just to not talk about people that are not in the room. And number three, if they would like to say something negative about someone else, instead replace it with three positive things about that person or about someone else. If your staff just don't seem to know how to address concerns with each other, and they leave things unsaid and they don't resolve issues with each other, then number one, watch the trust video, and number two, watch the addressing concerns video that walks them through how they can do this. Then number three, watch the challenging conversations video. The addressing concerns video walks staff through noticed and wondering. I notice you're upset and I'm wondering what I can do to help. And also walks staff through the 3 steps to regain control. Here's an example. Imagine that I'm the person that's being affected by another staff member, and here are the 3 steps. Are you intending to put me down? And if it then continues, you are intending to put me down, and if it continues, I guess I'll have to go and report that to the manager. And if it continues, you are intending to put me down, it's continued, so I'm now going to go and speak to the manager. In the challenging conversations video, it walks through clear steps about what staff can do in order to resolve issues with another person, even though it's a bit scary. Number one, they separate their emotions. Number two, they acknowledge their responsibility in the matter. Number three, they define the outcome they seek. Number four, they ask the other person's perspective on the matter. Number five, they go through the outcome they seek again, and at the end they have resolved the matter together. If your organisation is having trouble with staff breaching code of conduct and it not really being followed up on properly, then number one, with your leadership team, watch the trust video, and number two, then with your leadership team, watch the speaking up video. The speaking up video outlines all the specifics of what your staff really should be speaking up about, walks you through how to model and practice conversations, and helps you have a bit of a push to make sure that things are actually reported, and it shows you how to do that from a leadership perspective so that things are not left as that uncomfortable feeling that erodes trust and efficiencies. There are so many layers to interpersonal concerns between staff. So here is a quick summary for you to have a look at so that you specifically know what videos to target depending on the concerns that you're having from your staff that have been identified as a priority. That concludes this workshop, and if your leadership team does choose to use these videos, thank you for noticing the disclaimer in the YouTube information below.